What movie is a 10/10? 12 Angry Men. Every time I watch it, I find new details to admire. Edit, the 1957 version, and be sure to check out 12 Angry Men analysis by Usherbreck. 1212. Terminator 2. 1110. Would go back in time to watch it for the first time again. Still blows my mind it's 4 years older than me watching it nowadays. Best movie of all time. That would be a good sequel, Arnold going back in time, not to save John Connor but to watch a decent movie before they messed it up with all the sequels. The Thing. Fargo, 1996. The performances in this movie by Frances McDormand, William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi were all career-defining performances, but what I don't see mentioned enough is how the movie is an antidote for Tarantino's style of criminals. Pulp Fiction is out of this world, but it led to every director trying to write smart, well-read criminals who talk about TV movies. A big example would be Bad Boys, whereas the Coens created idiotic criminals who keep making mistakes aren't cool in any way. They even start the movie off by messing up the time for their meeting. I've watched this movie so much, I think I could quote it in my sleep. City of God. I can't really explain why because I haven't studied films and stuff. I can explain, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime film, made with amateur actors, about once-in-a-century memoirs written by a guy that never wrote anything again. It bounces seamlessly between a comedy, a crime drama, art house, biopic, documentary, and a quirky romance movie. It's gritty, grimy, kinda horrifying, yet hilarious, uplifting, and a riot to watch. Also, the cinematography at times reaches a fever-inducing pace, or cleverly conveys some other contextual message, or plainly is just brilliant with shots and production design coming together. The scene about the apartment is a standout. Perfect film. Goodfellas. Silence of the Lambs. No doubt. My grandma, I think she didn't know any better, took me to the movies when I was about 13 to see a double feature of Silence of the Lambs and Terminator 2. What a day. God bless your grandma. Mine loved to watch hockey and roller derby for the fights. Amadeus. God, why the hell does Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart have such a cool name? His baptized name is even cooler, Johannes Chrysostomus Wolfgangus Theophilus Mozart. Wolfgangus Theophilus sounds like the scientific name for a highly intelligent werewolf. Or maybe a werewolf who is a religious philosopher. Clue 1985. One of the funniest movies I have watched, and I still quote it in regular interactions. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Every cook will tell you that. But look what happened to the cook. I really like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Alien, 1979. My cousin Vinny. 'Cause Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55, the 327 didn't come out till 62. And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center. I love that movie XD. Saving Private Ryan. Stand By Me. Thanks for the awards. I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? That line kills me every time. The one I have found myself using in real life when appropriate is Suck My Fat One. Aliens. Aliens and T2 are both 1010. The Abyss is great as well. James Cameron has had quite the run. Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks is an absolute genius. I loved Mel Brooks' comment when a reporter said, "You couldn't have made that in current year?" Brooks, "We couldn't then, but we did it anyways." I'm paraphrasing, but you get the point. 12 Angry Men, 1957. Somehow a movie about 12 guys arguing in a closed room is absolutely riveting. Tombstone. Why? Johnny Ringo. You look like someone just walked over your grave. Fights Not With You, Holiday. I beg to differ, sir. We started a game we never got to finish. Play for Blood, remember? Lord of the Rings. And Life is Beautiful. Absolutely LOTR. But in particular, I can watch Fellowship over and over and over. 100% agree. I hadn't read the books at the time I first saw Fellowship in the theater, and I can't overstate the foreboding sense of what is to come that I felt in the time between Frodo inheriting the ring and the four hobbits leaving Bree with Strider. Those 20 minutes or so are amongst my favorite in film history, and the best exposition I believe I've ever seen. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost, for none now live who will remember it. Literally the greatest opening of a movie ever. Perfect. Gattaca is a really cool watch. Not for everyone though. We watched this in school when we were learning about DNA and I was the only person that loved it. We ran out of time and because the class was so unenthused we never finished it. I've never seen the ending to this day. But I loved it. I watched it in high school biology when it first came out. I don't remember if everyone liked it but I loved it and just watched it a few days ago. Lilo Stitch. I can't think of anything else Disney has done that dives deep into a serious life issue with realistic rawness except Zootopia and a few of the Pixar movies. Lilo is one of the most realistic animated children protagonists with all her little quirks and you can feel and see how hard Nani is trying to balance sisterhood and parenthood. It also functions well without a villain like an evil step-parent or foster parent. It's just a social services agent who realizes the tragedy of the situation. Even with comedy from the aliens, it successfully balances the tone and allows you to realize the tragedy and rawness of the situation. Say 7N, 15 hours later, awesome to see that so many Redditors have excellent taste in movies. Therese still hope for the world. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I just love it so much. The Usual Suspects. Inglourious Bastards. The Iron Giant. Stardust. It was so good, I was so pleasantly surprised and loved it. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. The Birdcage. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Hyped as duck for the sequel. A Beautiful Mind. Blade Runner, Final Cut. Fellowship of the Ring. Gladiator. The Count of Monte Cristo. The Princess Bride. The Omen. It's Still Chilling. The Fifth Element. Arrival. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Mad Max, Fury Road #Witness Me. Before Sunrise. Planes, Trains and Automobiles, 1987. The Hunt for Red October. Second-Hand Lions. Inglourious Bastards. In Bruges. Galaxy Quest. Everything Everywhere All at Once. E.T. Morbius, 2022. Shawshank Redemption. True Romance Amélie. The Lord of the Rings. The Return of the King. Pulp Fiction. Clever, innovative, brutal, beautiful. Django. American Psycho. Hereditary. Saw a lot of classics here so maybe this is a curveball, but this is definitely on my top 5 horror movie list. 1917. Blade Runner. The Princess Bride. Shrek. Casino. Its cinematography is beautiful and dark. Borders just on the edge of fantasy but never pushes you over so far that you feel like you're in a movie. Abrupt and sharp, the type of movie that can't be replicated or redone. Absolutely love Top Gun, Maverick. Night at the Museum 1. Full Metal Jacket. Last of the Mohicans. American Psycho. LOTR. Back to the Future. A Time to Kill. As a young black adolescent I was completely hooked every minute. So much tension. One of my all-time favorites. Forrest Gump. Mad Max Fury Road. Godfather 1 and 2. Donnie Darko.